Hello students, today we are going to discuss Unit 3, Chapter 2, Compaction. So, what is compaction? So, compaction is the process of removing air voids from the soil. So, it is the manual method, right? Or else we can say artificial method. By using machinery or the equipments, we can remove the voids from the soil. That process is called as compaction. So, what is happening in the soil? What are the properties which are going to change due to the compaction? Right? So, students, we are saying that we are removing voids from the soil sample. So, obviously, there will be change in the volume because volume of voids will become 0, almost approximately will become 0. Approximately will become 0, not completely 0. So, obviously, there will be change in the volume of the soil sample, right? So, soil becomes dense now, right? So, gaps are removed, so soil becomes dense, right? So, this process is called as densification. Compaction is called as, or this process can be named as densification process, right? So, the densification of soil by the application of load, by application of energy is known as compaction, right? So, soil grains, see, we are saying that we are applying loads on the soil sample, right? So, whenever we are applying loads on the soil sample, the immediate reaction will be the movement of particles, the movement of soil grains, right? So, there will be rearrangement of the soil grains because of the removal of air voids, right? So, there are two things, compaction. Along with this, there is one more process, consolidation, right? So, in the third unit, second chapter, we discuss about compaction. In the fourth unit, in detail, we discuss about consolidation. So, now we'll see what is meant by consolidation just, okay? So, compaction, as I said, it is the process of removal of air voids from the soil sample. Consolidation, it is a process of removal of water from the soil sample is called as consolidation, right? So, it is, compaction is a instant phenomena, means we can complete it within minutes, but whereas consolidation may take years of time, right? So, it is dependent upon time. Consolidation depends upon time. So, densification is due to, so soil is becoming dense due to the compaction, and we are removing air voids. So, there will be change in the volume of the voids, there will be change in the total volume of the soil sample, right? So, in the consolidation process, we are expelling the water from the voids, right? So, compaction means air voids, we are removing. Consolidation means water voids, right? So, soil is partially saturated in the compaction process and the soil is completely saturated in the consolidation process, okay? So, So why the soil is saturated, right? So we are going for the consolidation only when the soil is fully saturated. That is the thing. Consolidation is preferable when the soil is completely saturated or fully saturated, and compaction is suitable for the partially saturated soil. So this is important thing. Suitability is the important thing. Okay. So compaction is suitable for partially saturated soil, whereas consolidation is suitable for fully saturated soils. So here, so as you can see in the first image, right, students, what is this? This is called as the phase diagram, right? So you have studied in the first unit, right? Phase diagram. So we represented the three phases of soil in the diagram, right? And we represented volume here, right? So what is happening actually after the compaction process? So the second image, the B image is showing the compaction effect, right? So this is the original soil, and this is the phase diagram for original soil, and B phase diagram is representing the soil which is compacted. So what are the changes after the compaction? That we'll see. So solids are common, that there is no change in the solids quantity, right? There is no change in the water, right? There is no change in volume of water, right? There is no change in volume of solids, but we can see the change in the volume of air voids, right? So the only change is change in the volume of the air voids, right? So here it is compressed. The magnitude has been decreased. The volume of air voids has been decreased, right? So it became delta V, right? We are representing that amount to be the change amount, to be delta V. Okay. So delta V is the reduction in the volume of the air voids, right? So this is what happening during the compaction, that there is change in the volume of the air voids, right? So this is about compaction. Now we'll discuss about the consolidation, right? So as we said, consolidation is suitable for saturated soil. So what is the change in the phase diagram now? As soil is saturated, there will be only two phases, that is solids common and only water is present, right? There is no chance of gaseous phase here, air phase here, because soil is fully saturated, right? So there will be change in the volume of the water voids, right? There is no change in the volume of the solids, there is only change in the volume of the water. It is because of the consolidation, right? So this is involved in the compaction and consolidation, right? So now we'll discuss field compaction equipments. So in the definition we said, right, we use some loads or we use some energy for the compaction, right? So with the help of some machines or the equipments, we do the compaction, right? So we discuss these compaction equipments now, okay? So one of the equipments is tampers, right? So tampers is used in the narrowed areas like trenches, behind the bridge abutments, narrows. So as equipment, if you see, okay, so there is some rod kind of thing, and at the bottom there is some ball kind of thing, right? Some volume is increased here, right? So tamping, right? So with the help of tampers, we can tamp the soil, means we can compact the soils, right? And it is suitable where trenches in the narrowest areas. So the equipment, if you see, the equipment size is very small, so it can be used in the narrow areas, in the small areas, right? So if you can't go for a big equipment in the narrow areas, right? So this tamper is suitable in the narrow areas or the trenches, right? So one more equipment, smooth wheel roller. So this is a very common equipment that we use for the compaction and you might have seen, right? This compaction equipment, right? Smooth wheel roller, you might have seen it, right? So it is suitable for granular soil, right? So this is mostly used in road construction, we all know this. So what is happening here? See, we are applying pressure with the smooth wheel roller, right? So the wheel is very smooth, right? So the wheel is very smooth, so we are giving only the pressure, right? Only the pressure on the soil sample. Okay, so this is important. Smooth wheel roller is suitable for granular soils. Okay, so if you see, the equipment is very big, right? Smooth wheels are there at the front side and also at the back side. So these wheels will compact the soil, right? So pneumatic tide roller, right? So it is suitable for cohesive and cohesionless soils. Okay, used to compact base and subbase layers of pavement. So this is also used in the road construction. Pneumatic tide rollers are also used in road construction. Pressure and kneading action is applied, right? So what is the difference between this pressure and kneading action, right? So pressure means we are giving the pressure like this, or else we are giving the pressure like this, right? So what is kneading now? Kneading is like this, right? So imagine there is soil sample in this. Okay, so kneading means like this, right? So kneading means there will be self rotation of the soil particles, there will be self rotation of air voids, right? Because of the kneading there will be self rotation. So kneading is like insertion, right? Like kneading is just like injection action, right? It is inserted, injection is inserted into our body, right? So it is same like that. Okay, kneading means it is insertion. Okay, it is going, the force is going into the soil. Okay, so the next equipment is sheep foot roller. Okay, so it is suitable for cohesive soils only, sheep foot roller, right? So if you see the equipment, okay, so here some extra projections are there, right? So extra projections. Okay, so this is called as sheep foot roller, extra projections to give the action, to give the kneading action on the soil. So on the background, if you see, it is cohesive soil, it is black cotton soil, right? Black cotton soil is cohesive soil, right? So if you remember this figure also, you can put it easily, right? Sheep foot roller is suitable for cohesive soils, right? So used to compact the soil which is selected for construction. Okay, so here with this equipment also kneading action is given, right? Just like injection action, insertion, it is inserting the pressure into the soil so that there will be self orientation of particles in the soil sample. The next equipment is vibratory roller, right? So it is suitable for granular soils, self adjustment of particles, right? So students, here I give one example for you. What is meant by vibration actually? So students, normally whenever we are filling a bag with rice, raw rice, okay, rice, okay, normally we pour some rice, right? Freely we pour some rice, right? After that we go for vibration, right? So what will happen because of this vibration? There will be adjustment, self adjustment of the particles, so there will be some volume change. So volume of the rice sample will be decreased, so that we can add some more rice into this bag, right? So So because of vibration, there will be self-adjustment of particles. See, we are not applying any additional force here. We are just vibrating it, right? So we are not applying additional force on this. Okay. This is called as vibration. Okay. No additional force. Okay. So this is the difference between vibration. Vibration is like this. Okay. Giving the pressure means it is like this. Okay, it is like this pressure, and kneading means it is like inserting. Okay, so this is the difference between these three actions. Okay, so each equipment is got its own quality, right? One equipment is used for cohesive soils, another equipment is used for cohesive and cohesionless soils. Some equipments only suitable for granular soils, right? So we have seen different types of equipments, right? So obviously there will be one matching question based on the compaction equipments in the competitive exams. Okay, matching question. Factors affecting compaction. So students, it is well known that because of the compaction, some factors will change, or else some factors influence the compaction, right? So the amount of compaction depends upon some parameters. What are those? Okay, so compaction sometimes may be more, sometimes it may be less. Okay, so even you are giving the same amount of compaction, the effect will be sometimes more, sometimes less. So there will be some factors because of which there will be change in the compaction effect, right? So the first thing is water content, second thing is compactive effect, third thing is type of soil, fourth thing is method of compaction. So how the water content influence the compaction effect, right? So it means that the water which is present in the soil, right, it can influence the compaction, right? So we'll see now how it influences the compaction, the water that is present, right? So as the water content, see, if you see the graph, this is compaction curve, students. It is very important graph. Okay, compaction curve, right? So what is there on the x-axis? Water content. On the y-axis, we are taking dry unit weight, that is gamma D. Dry unit weight gamma D, right? So as the water content is increasing, right? So the density is increasing, right? Till certain extent, the density is increased, right? As the water content is increasing, the density of the soil sample is increased to certain extent, and after that, even the water content is increased, right? After that, the dry density is decreased, right? So what is happening in the beginning? So as the water content is increased, the soil particles will become loose. There will be movement in the soil particles, right? It will become loose, right? So that is called as flacculated fabrics or flacculated soil, right? So if you see here, the soil is flacculated. Okay, after that, okay, after some limit of water content, the soil is dispersed, right? So the soil is completely dispersed. Okay, so what is happening here? So as we are increasing the water, there will be escape of air from the voids, and those voids will be filled with water. Okay, so that it will become dense. So see, what is this point is called as? See, so if you see the graph, compaction curve, right, it is like parabolic, right? So compaction curve, so the maximum dry density is this point, is occurred at this point, the maximum dry density. Okay, the corresponding water content is called as OMC, optimum moisture content. So what is optimum moisture content? The corresponding water content of maximum dry density is called as optimum moisture content. Okay. So here you need to note down one more thing. So this is called as dry side of optimum. Okay. The compaction curve right side is called as wet side of optimum curve. Okay. Dry side, wet side. Okay. The left side is called as dry side. The right side is called as wet side. Okay. So on the dry side, okay, the soil particles are flagellated. Okay, on the wet side, the soil particles are dispersed. This is the change in the soil sample after the compaction, right? So compaction curve, okay. So see, here you can see the equation for the compaction curve, gamma D is equal to G into gamma W by 1 plus C, and it can be rewritten as G into gamma W 1 plus E is substituted with WZ by S, right? So this is the compaction curve. So here we need to note down one thing, 0 air voids line, right? So along with compaction curve, we have one more line on the compaction graph, right? That is 0 air void line, and 0 air void line and saturation line, 100% saturation line are equal. Okay. So the 0 air void line means the Na is 0 on this line. So it won't happen. See, we are saying that we are removing the voids, air voids from the soil sample, right? It won't happen completely. There will be change in the volume of the voids, but not completely. Only some voids we can remove with the application of energy, right? Not completely. So 0 air void line is the imaginary line. It is the ideal curve. So this is the 0 air void line equation or 100% saturation line equation. So we are saying that Na is 0. So if you substitute Na to be 0, okay, the equation will turn out to be G into gamma W 1 plus Wg, right? So this is the 0 air void line equation or 100% saturation line equation. Same. Okay, this both the lines are same. Okay, so this is obtained from the different values of water content, right? So where it is lying, the 0 air void line beside the compaction curve, right? So it is so remember, it is not possible to remove the complete air from the soil sample. Okay, so it is said the imaginary line, 0 air void line. So hence we can say no compaction curve will cross the 0 air void line. So always the 0 air void line lies after the compaction curve, not within the compaction curve. Okay. So the second factor, okay, so we said water content can change the compaction effect, right? The next thing, compaction effect. So there will be effect in the soil sample due to the compaction based on how much amount of compaction we are giving, right? So if you are giving less load, less energy onto the soil sample, obviously there will be small change in the soil sample, small change in the density. Whenever you are giving more load onto the soil sample, then there will be much change in the soil sample, there will be chance for more density, the soil becomes more dense, right? So here if you see the graph, students, this is also compaction curve graph only, but see, this is a 20 blows we are giving per layer, amount of compaction is 20 blows, and next graph we increase the compaction, right? This is 25 blows per layer, the third thing 30 blows per layer, fourth thing 50 blows per layer, right? So here what happened, the blows are increased, means the amount of compaction that we are giving, the load that we are giving onto the soil sample has been increased. So what happened to the compaction curve, right? So there is change in the compaction curve, right? From the first to second, right? What happened, the compaction curve is moved to the upward direction, right? Upward direction, and moved to the left side, right? The YMC has moved to the left side, and third also it has been moved from the first to second, second to third, it has moved in the upward direction, and it has moved to the left direction, right? So here the YMC has been decreased, right? So whenever you are giving more load, okay, the YMC has been decreased. So that we need to notice here from this graph, right? So there was decrease in OMC, okay, content till certain extent, but further change in compactive effect can reduce OMC, because volume of voids, see, see there will be change in the compaction curve till some extent only. So we said 50 blows per layer, right? So there was change in OMC, right? So after some extent, okay, if you have been increased the amount of compaction, something like 60 blows, 70 blows, there won't be any further change in the OMC or in the dry density. Even though if you increase the compaction effect, there won't be any change in the denseness. So what does it mean? So students, we are saying because of compaction, the soil is becoming dense, okay, till certain extent only, okay. After some time, even if you increase the loading, there won't be any change in the densification, there won't be any change in the OMC. So once the soil has become more dense, settled, right? So there won't be chances for the movement of particles. Once it has become more dense, means there won't be any chance for the movement. So even though if you give a more amount of load, no use, okay. So obviously, okay, type of soil, right? So some soils may require more compaction, right? Some soils may require less compaction effort, right? So some soils may require more energy for the compaction, some soils may require less energy for the compaction, okay. So here it is said fine grained soils need more water to reach OMC. So if you see the graph is colorful, okay. So clay soil, right? So it needs more water content to reach OMC, right? So silty clay, it requires less water content to reach OMC, okay. Sand, it requires very less water content to reach OMC, right? Coarse grained soils need less water content, right? Comparing with the fine grained soils, coarse grained soils requires less OMC, means they become dense easily. Coarse grained soils become dense easily, they achieve the maximum dry density easily with the less water content, with the less OMC, coarse grained soils. So usually there is some change here. Usually high plasticity clays have lower dry unit weight and high OMC values. This is like some special soils, right? High plasticity clays. So coarse grained soils achieve the maximum density the less OMC itself. Okay, method of compaction, right? So there are different methods of compaction. Okay, standard Proctor test, modified Proctor test. Okay, standard Proctor test, modified Proctor test. Okay, the method of compaction influence the somewhat the shape and the position of dry unit weight versus water content plot. So there will be small change in the compaction curves because of the method of the compaction. Okay, standard Proctor method is there and modified Proctor method is there. So very less. See, this is like somewhat widened. The curve is widened. Here somewhat it is sharp curve. We can obtain sharp curve by the modified Proctor test. Okay. So we'll discuss in detail about what is the difference between the standard Proctor and modified Proctor. Okay. At the end we'll discuss, okay, how we perform the standard Proctor and modified Proctor test. Okay. Effect of compaction and soil properties. So we said in the beginning itself, right? Obviously there will be change in the soil sample. There will be change in the soil properties because of the compaction, right? The first change will be, it is a volume change. So there will be a change in the density, right? The soil becomes more dense. So we said there will be change in the structure, right? I have shown you the graph, right? So as we increase the, so this graph, as we increase the water content, the soil becomes flagellated, and further increase in the water content after OMC also, the soil becomes dispersed. So there is change in the structure, right? So the property that changes is structure due to the compaction. And next thing is permeability. Permeability changes because of the compaction. So in the second unit we discussed, students, if you can remember this already, that permeability varies with the size, with the viscosity, and also with the compaction and consolidation, right? Due to the compaction consolidation, there will be change in the permeability parameter, right? So the same thing we are discussing here, right? So the permeability property, it is an engineering property that changes due to the compaction, right? So permeability of dry soils is more than the wet soils, right? So, not dry soils, it is dry side of compaction curve. So if you can see the compaction curve, okay, compaction curve, right? The dry side is more the permeability, okay, on the wet side permeability is decreased. So why it is? Why the permeability has been changed from the dry side to the wet side, right? Permeability is more here, right? Means there is chance for easy percolation of water, okay? On the dry side there is chance for easy percolation of water, okay? So on the wet side there is less chance, so permeability is decreased. Permeability is decreased because there is less chance for the percolation of water, right? So for example, students, why it is said on the wet side the permeability is less? Because imagine that the soil is already having some water with it, right? The soil is having some water with it, so it requires only some quantity of water for the saturation, right? So there is less chance for the requirement of water require are the percolation of water, less chances, right? So on the wet side there is less chance for the flow, for the percolation of water. So on the wet side of the curve permeability is less. Okay. Compressibility. So it is at the optimum side, again more or less. What does it mean? We can obtain optimum moisture content only at the maximum dry density. So it is said that the soil has achieved maximum density, so there is very less chances for the of water through the soil, right? So obviously the permeability will be less at the maximum dry density point. Next thing that will change is compressibility, right? So what does it mean? Ability of soil to compress, right? So there will be volume change in the soil, right? At low stress compressibility on dry side, so there will be chance for less compressibility on the dry side of curve, compaction curve. Swelling is more on dry side. So same like permeability, right? Swelling is, so what is this factor swelling? Okay, so swelling means if initially the soil sample, let the soil sample to be like this. Okay, swelling means due to the water, right? So there will be change in the volume of the soil sample, so the soil will become swell, right? The soil becomes like this, right? So this can be experienced in the rainy seasons, right? So in the summer seasons the soil becomes dried, right? So immediately when the rain season comes, slowly the volume of the soil sample increases because the water goes into the soil particles, goes into the voids, so that the soil becomes swell, right? So that is called the swelling in the soils. Increase in the volume of the soil sample due to the water is called as swelling. Okay, so swelling is more on dry side. So if you see the compaction curve, more on dry side. Shrinkage, so it is less on dry side. So swelling and shrinkage, these both are opposite properties. Okay, shrinkage means decrease in the volume. So initially we said the soil sample is like this, right? Due to this shrinkage it becomes like this, decrease in the volume of the soil sample. It happens in the summer seasons, right? So there will be change in the volume of the soil in the summers. They become more dry, right? So there is less on dry side due to the random orientation. Shrinkage will be less on dry side. Okay. So we said just like permeability, we said only on the dry side, only on the dry side of the compaction curve the water can percolate, right? So whenever there is change in the, whenever there is chance for the entering of water, there will be chance for swelling. So only on the dry side there is chance for swelling, more swelling, and only chance for shrinkage on the wet side. Okay, because the shrinkage will happen only when the soil is wet, right? Pore water pressure, right? What is pore water pressure? We discussed it already, right? Pore water pressure, it is a pressure that is exerted by the water that is present in the pores, and it is represented with the letter U. We said already, right? So pore water pressure is more on the dry side, right? So laboratory test for the compaction, okay, test performed to determine the compaction characteristics, right, like maximum dye density or maximum dye unit weight and YMC. See, these two are compaction characteristics, maximum dye unit weight and YMC, optimum moisture content. These two are compaction characteristics, okay, and these can be determined by performing the compaction test. And there are two methods, okay, standard Proctor and modified Proctor. Okay, Indian standard high compaction test, Indian light compaction test. So standard Proctor can be called as light compaction, and a modified Proctor can be called as heavy compaction. So as so you can see the difference between the two experiments. Okay, so here hammer weight is less, here hammer weight is 4.9 kgs. Okay, height of free fall is 31 centimeter, height of free fall is 45 centimeter in heavy compaction. Okay, mole capacity is same in both the cases. Okay, 1 liter or 2.5 liter. Okay, and layers, each layer 25 blows, 25 blows. Okay, but here see, observe here light compaction test only 3 layers, here 5 layers. Okay, here only 25 blows, here 56 blows. Okay, so this is the difference between light compaction and heavy compaction. Okay, the last thing, compaction quality control, destructive methods, sand cone method, balloon method, and the non-destructive methods, nuclear test. Okay, so there is one parameter that you have to remember, one formula, relative compaction. Okay, RC is equal to dry unit weight in the field to the dry unit weight maximum. Okay, maximum dye density, dry density in the field by dry density maximum is called as relative compaction. So there will be chance for asking objective question on the relative compaction. Okay, so this is about the compaction. Okay, if possible, I record the video in our laboratory on this compaction. Okay, so this is about compaction.